So where did you go to school and what did you study?
Yeah, so I graduated from UVU here in Utah in culinary arts and hospitality management. I worked in the industry in restaurants and yeah, just restaurants for several years until I decided I was more interested in the sustainability aspect of food. And so I did a master's degree from Chatham University for in their school of sustainability. I'm a lot more hands-on. I own a catering company where I get to use those principles, but a lot of it is just more business management and hands-on food work as the head chef there.
Do you feel like your education in sustainability changed some of your life decisions that you've made since getting your degree?
Yeah, absolutely. I think at some level, you could probably look at my job and say, you don't need a master's degree to do that. Of course, I don't, right? I mean, owning your own business is not, no one ever requires me to have any sort of level of training, but it definitely has shaped my decision making, looking at kind of more using an academic lens to look at sustainability and kind of see like full faceted aspects to all these issues, and especially in the food system, right? It's not just about uh, X trend or Y trend, but really looking at how sustainability can improve and affect communities in general and whole groups of people. It really changes how I look at the world, but also how I make decisions at work and how I treat my employees or how I treat the resources that I am using up as a business.
Yeah. How do you think you set up your business in a way that it would like thrive in being more sustainable? Because some businesses I feel like they will make efforts, or like big organizations, right? They'll make efforts to be more sustainable, but it's not like in a way that people are like really building off of it.
The biggest way that I can actually move towards a sustainable model, right, is like talking about food miles. Like, where is this food coming from? Are these all is everything just mass produced and shipped in these really inefficient ways? It's really hard, right? Like, and I think, I mean, it's hard to really go against the system. The system really pushes you towards cheap,
Hmm.
easy Cisco deliveries, right? That are just like, kind of sourceless and faceless, but just come in the morning and you don't have to do any work for. I mean, it's
Yeah.
very easy to get pushed that way. But I try to be authentic in how I portray myself. And I also one method that I have is that I sort of, this is maybe a little bit different question, but how I approach it, I sort of am trying to segment my business in ways that can kind of push towards the final goal. Try not to do everything at once, or I think I just would fail. Like, people can't sustain that price of what
Yeah.
I would have to, the effort and price that I would have to sell food out to and like feel where I feel is sustainable is probably not going to work. And so I tried to, okay, let's focus on one small thing and then let's build on that another, right?
Do you feel like the choices that you've made to be more sustainable in your business have then trickled into your life with your family or like in other
Sure.
aspects of your life?
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. And sort of vice versa as well, right? But yeah, I really, one of the first things that we focus, to back up, at Beehive Catering, my company, we do focus so much on large box lunch orders. That's just a lot of what we are. And so, more than a restaurant, I was like, I worked in restaurants before where all of our dishes were coming back and being washed. I didn't really think too much about the few to go boxes we did use. But then when you're sending out 300 or 400 boxes a day, it's like pretty staggering. You're actually using like pallets worth of disposable containers and salad dressing cups and all these things to then send out food. And so it's in those numbers, it became quickly like, oh my gosh, like this is just so much waste.
Yeah.
And so, and that's when, okay, like looking at reusable things, or for sure going all, so right now we are all compostable, all reusable, or either or, right? Like, if we can't do a reusable, we use a compostable item. But yeah, I think that helped me understand the system, where then I was sure at home, like I just really try to make those same decisions. And even though it's not as obvious of like a mistake, I guess, to like
Yeah.
use a single use plastic item, or it doesn't affect it in the same way at work, it still, I think, pushes me to that, like, oh, like find a creative solution that means you don't have to, use single use plastic.
Yeah. Looking forward to the year 2070, which is like pretty far in
Ooh,
the future, right?
okay, I'll not be
Um,
here. Okay.
what do you think that we each need to do today like in your opinion, so that we can have a better future when we're looking forward, like as far as 2070?
I mean, it's tempting to say like, I mean, what we can do as people to eat more sustainably, right? Like obviously looking at buying from local farms,
Yeah.
eating more vegetarian and vegan meals to reduce carbon footprint. I think it's tempting to kind of like you can do that, especially if you're well off. You can kind of like all like you could kind of start eating a sustainable diet in a lot of weird way, but it's not going to be enough to change the world by just like a few educated or rich people that kind of self-congratulating. Like that's the pop culture version of sustainable food, right? Is to like fix our like vote. What the term is all that people use is always like vote with your fork, or like show. I think that is important. So number one, that is important to like support local farms and local businesses. But I think what we have to do as a society and what we have to do as individuals is focus on the larger systematic problems. Like we have to attack the reason why fast food is so cheap and why fast food is so popular. It's not the people that are eating fast food, and not that I don't, but like people are pushed to make those cheap and unsustainable food decisions, not because they're lazy or they don't care about the earth, right? It's just like a financial
Yeah.
issue, right? Like food, like expensive sustainable food just isn't like approachable or reasonable for most Americans, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's like a hard answer, but we really need to focus on systems that are unsustainable and unequal, and focus, I think, more on like actual infrastructure and methods of change for the big companies that are going to make a big difference.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, of course. Good luck.
Thank you.